Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. The maintenance is finally done. For me, it ended at a big 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This maintenance was long. But a lot of you probably already hopped onto the game by now, but if you haven't and you're still wondering if maintenance is done, it is indeed done. And if you do hop on, you'll get 12 dragon stones, which is quite nice, going towards the hero fund. Also, if you are unable to hop onto the game for your daily capsule, those kind of things, you will be given those, don't worry too much. And you'll also be given your exploding gratitude login bonus on top of that. So if you're kind of panicking that you're going to miss out, you're going to miss out on your paid for subscriptions, you're going to get those. They're going to be distributed to you. If not, you've already been giving them and they're waiting for you in your gift box. And for those of you who've already hopped on the game, you can also let us know you've probably already got them as well. Now, of course, this update fixed a few things on the Scouter page, but more so, or mainly, the big thing that came with update 5.15, of course, is the skill orb. As it says here, implemented the link skill orb. Link skill orbs, which can be used to level up any skill, are here. Probably up there, even though I haven't actually got to use it, but from what I've seen of it, probably up there as one of my favorite updates to come to Dokkan, along with version Z and like a few other things like easy Aing and things. Probably up there. I do really like this update. It helps link level runs. It helps those of us who are sometimes lazy, them stubborn links that just won't move. I think it's a really good update and it just helps a lot. It does say here there are the 3 types of skill orbs, which of course are the blue, purple, and rainbow. Of course, the rainbow orb are indeed paid for. You do get some for free eventually. There's like 20 of them. If you do want to do rainbow skill orbs, you can take a link to level 10 without having to do link level runs, or maybe even use the keys. You'll have to pay for them. So it says there are 3 types of link skill orbs, and the type and number of skill orbs required to level up a link skill vary depending on the link skill's level. I did go through how these work in a previous video, so I will pin it down in the comments. But basically, if I remember rightly, the blue one goes from level 1 to level 4, the purple orb goes from 5 to 8, and I'm pretty sure the rainbow one goes from 9 to 10, hence why they cost money. Link skill orbs can be used in the growth section on the team menu. For more details, please navigate to the following path, which is menu help, how to play items, and then link skill orbs. Moving on, second thing, they optimized the display of link skill effects so that it is possible to check a link skill's effect at level 10. If a link skill is at level 9 or below, its effect at level 10 will also be displayed when you check its effect. So essentially, if you're sitting there, say, I don't know, with Easy A Fizzbeerus who just dropped, right? And you're like, you're link leveling them, you have link skills at level 9, you have maybe one at level 10, but, the majority aren't at level 10, you're link leveling them. Not everyone who plays Dokkan uses websites such as Dokkan Wiki, Dokkan Info, and can't really check these things on the fly. They might not even know these websites exist. So they're like, let me see what I'm actually link leveling this unit for. What boost am I getting from Fierce Battle at level 5 when it gets to level 10? What boost am I getting on Big Bad Bosses from level 7 compared to level 10? I'm really surprised something like this wasn't in the game sooner, but it's a very good quality of life update. And as I said, for those of you who don't use stuff like Dokkan Wiki, Dokkan Info, and you don't know what these link skills do at level 10 when they're maxed out, you can now check. So even more reason to link level your units. Number 3, they've added a filter option, which can, for the filter function on the character page, the options level up possible and all at max level for the link skill level up section have been added. And then number 4, fix the issue with the featured sections of summon events. At the featured sections on the summon events, the play button was not displayed on certain character pages. That's now been fixed, and a few other things that have been changed as well. They've adjusted the user interface, adjusted certain descriptions, fixed some bugs, and in addition, a display issue with the pop-up that appears after tapping the growth button on character detail pages has been found. This issue is scheduled to be fixed at a later date. On top of that, part 2 of the new quest area has been added, where you can also now get the blue, purple gems. I think they're blue gems. And then later on in a different update is when we can actually get the next set of quest stages that will give us that free-to-play Trunks that does eventually Dokkan awaken into Trunks and Broly. In the next couple of days as well, global, we're also going to be getting a world tournament. I know, everyone's favorite game mode. If you are saving for heroes and you want to build up your heroes fund, which we should probably be getting some news in the next few days as well, because typically the banner does drop round about the 21st. So maybe on like a Friday, maybe tomorrow, but probably Friday, we might actually get some news or some more news on heroes, maybe even some details going into next week when the banner should actually go live. But we are getting a world tournament. I know it's not the best of game modes in the game, but you know, grind it to a bare minimum, get some extra stones from your heroes fund, because we have got some Dokkan Awakenings and some EZAs for units that are indeed world tournament units. So we are going to go through all of these details as well for those of you who care about these units or do indeed grind world tournament. So first up, we have in Future Gohan. He will stack attack, raise defense by 30%, cause supreme damage to enemy. On his passive, get attack and defense plus 120, then gains an additional attack and defense plus 100% on super, then gains ki plus 2 and an additional attack and defense plus 80%, and there's a 50% chance of stunning the attacked enemy when there's an androids category enemy, then gains an additional defense plus 30% when performing a super attack, and then gains an additional ki plus 2 and a 30% chance upon a critical hit. There's a future saga category ally whose name includes Trunks. So if there's any like specific androids enemies, or even like androids enemies in like Super Battle Road ESBR, this guy wouldn't be too bad, especially with that built-in stun, and it's quite easy to run Future Gohans with the likes of Trunks units. Then next we do have a Super Saiyan GT Vegeta. He will raise attack by 30% for 1 turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy, and then raises defense by 30% for 6 turns, which is actually really nice. He's one of the first EZAs for this next batch of EZA World Tournament units. On his passive, he does get attack and defense plus 120 at the start of turn, then gains an additional attack and defense plus 60% on super. He will guard all attacks for 1 turn from the character's entry, and then gains an additional defense plus 80% and has a 50% chance of guarding all attacks as the first attack on a return. This is really nice, the defense for 6 turns. The guard, guaranteed guard for 1 turn, very nice, but it is 1 turn. However, again, these units aren't made to be world beaters. They're made to be used in other content in the game like Clash, Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, etc. So for the likes of Super Battle Road, where you're basically restarting the fight every time you go into the new one, this, really nice. You should be getting that every fight. This is also quite nice, but just in general, having a 50% chance to guard. Being the first attacker in a turn is a little bit of a risk because it's a coin flip chance. If it happens, fantastic. If it doesn't, damage is happening. He then gains an additional attack plus 40% as the second or third attacker on a turn, then gains an additional attack plus 80% and a 30% chance of performing a critical hit when performing a super attack if there is another Shadow Dragons category ally attacking in the same turn. So for a free-to-play unit and a free-to-play EZA, he's actually not bad. As I said, these aren't made to be world beater units. They're made for other areas of the game outside of the hardest, most difficult content in Dokkan. And for Super Battle Road, or Extreme Super Battle Road, this cheats ain't too bad, I'm not gonna lie. Then we have EZA AGL Beerus. He'll raise his defense by 30% for 1 turn, cause supreme damage to the enemy and lower defense. He'll get attack and defense plus 120 at the start of turn, then gain an additional attack and defense plus 120 on super, then gain an additional attack plus 60% starting from the turn in which the character receives the second attack in battle. He'll launch an additional attack that has a 50% chance of becoming a super attack. From the turn in which the character receives the 4th attack in battle, he'll also guard all attacks when all allies attacking in the same turn are exploding rage. So as long as you can run a full rotation of him on exploding rage, or actually just pretty much run a full exploding rage category team, which, yeah, Dokkan Fest God Goku leads 200% lead wise. The only thing is he doesn't lead the 170 as pure and hybrid Saiyans. As long as you can basically get a full rotation of exploding rage categories, this guy will guard. This guy will guard, and having that built in additional with some extra defense as well. Again, for other content in the game outside of like Red Zone and Shadow Dragon event, for a free-to-play unit that has a free-to-play EZA, it's not bad. Is Exploding Rage a bit specific? Yes. But if you can trigger it, I mean, the options aren't bad. You know, you're looking at EZA Fizz Beerus, who's probably one of the best EZAs in the game right now, torn between 1 or 2. You know, you have this Goku, you have Battle of Gods Jeets, actually, if we just take Realm of Gods alone, you've got this guy, you've got Zamasu, you've got Rose, you've got... Who else have we got in terms of Realm of Gods? You've got Fizz, Dokkan Fest, Godku, AGL Zamasu. There's actually a ton of good exploding rage units here, so actually triggering it shouldn't be too difficult. And again, this is outside the most difficult content in the game, where it's not overly challenging, but for a free-to-play unit and a free-to-play EZA, he's actually pretty good. Guard, built an additional, can, you know, build up his defense twice in a turn rather than just once. Decent damage of all the extra attacks he's getting as well. Pretty good EZA. Then we have Strength SSJ GT Goku. This is another EZA who will raise defense by 30% on super, cause supreme damage to the enemy, and raise all allies attack by 30% for one turn. We'll get attack and defense plus 150 at the start of turn. They gain an additional attack and defense plus 100% for 5 turns from the character's entry turn. Again, for the likes of SBR and ESBR, that's literally perfect for the amount of time you're actually in a fight for. He'll then gain an additional attack and defense plus 50% when performing a super attack, have a 30% chance of dodging, getting key plus 3 and an additional chance of evading enemies' attack plus 30% when there's another space traveling warriors category ally attacking in the same turn, which is actually quite nice, 60% in total. They gain an additional attack plus 20% up to 80% and have a chance for a critical plus 10% up to 40% with each attack evaded. So again, not another not too bad EZA on a free-to-play unit. And then finally we do have Tech DKP, which is another EZA. He will greatly raise attack by 50% for one turn, cause supreme damage, and have a 30% chance of stunning. Extreme class allies will get key plus 3 and attack and defense plus 30% from him. He'll then gain an additional attack and defense plus 10% for all allies and have a 30% chance of guarding all attacks when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class, which isn't too bad, but 30% chance is incredibly low, like really low. He'll then gain an attack and defense plus 40% per existing extreme class ally on the team, which if you go full-blown extreme class is going to be very easy to do so. He'll then gain an additional defense plus 100% and for 2 turns, and the attacked enemy's attack minus 20% when performing a super attack. So he's not too bad. He's alright. He's a very nice support. The guard, I mean, having it is nice rather than not having it, but again, a 30% chance is very, very low. But as I said, I have to say, the units that are free to play EZAs from the likes of World Tournament, I mean, aside from Future Gohan, but you know, all of these units here, for free to play units that come from World Tournament that are free to play EZAs, they're not bad. They're not bad. So I mean, if you're lacking on some of these categories and you have one of these guys and you can EZA them, they're a decent option again for the likes of Super Battle Road and ESBR and just content that exists outside of the Red Zone and Shadow Dragon event. But that is everything that came with today's update, along with the very long extended maintenance. So you can let me thoughts down in the comments. Let me know if you're going to be playing World Tournament as well, building up your Heroes Fund a little bit more, because that will be here very, very soon. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe while you're there. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and peace.